Hi guys, and welcome to Custom Riders How to Build a Wheel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a 36 hole wheel. We get a lot of questions about it, so hopefully I can help answer some of those questions through this video. I hope you enjoy it. For this you're going to need a few things. Obviously, first of all, rim, spokes, nipples and hub. Obviously you can't build a wheel without those four things. Then you'll need some tools. You need a spoke key, a flathead screwdriver and a wheel jig if you can afford one or if you have one. Right, first thing we're going to do is put a spoke into the hub this way, making sure it goes that way, because if it doesn't then you're going to end up putting spokes in the wrong position. So make sure it is in that way. Now we're going to put the first spoke to the left of the valve hole. While we're screwing in the nipple, making sure that we're not going to screw it down too far, because we need some slack while building the wheel, which is very important. Right, the next step is doing the same thing that we did on the first one, but this time we need to make sure that we miss out a hole and then go to the one next to that, making sure that the spoke goes down the same way as the first one, and then we're going to miss out 3 holes and then go to the 4th one and do the same again with a nipple, making sure not to screw it down too much so that there's still some slack left. Right, you need to make sure that you carry on this pattern the whole way around on this side of the hub, and then once you've done that I'll be back to show you the rest of how to build the wheel. Right, now that we've done that, we're now going to move on to the next side of the hub, where we're going to repeat the same process that we did on the first side, but we've got to twist the hub first and obviously put a spoke in the right position before we can then start carrying on with the pattern. Right, now we're going to twist the hub clockwise to pull all the spokes in, and then we're going to find the spoke that we first put in next to the valve hole, and we're going to look for the hole just to the left of it on the opposite side of the hub, which is this one here. We're going to place it down like that, and now we're going to count 3 spokes and then go down with this one to the left of the 4th spoke, and then put a nipple on there again, not screwing it down too far so that there's still some thread showing, so we have some slack. To recap, go back to the first spoke that you placed next to the valve hole, follow that down to the hub, and while looking at the other side of the hub, place the spoke to the left of the one that you first placed on the opposite side of the hub, as I've just showed you, and obviously placing it 4 spokes around on the rim. Now you're just going to follow the same steps that you did on the first side of the hub, but just obviously on the opposite side. So you're going to miss out that first hole, go to the one next to that, put it through, come over, and then you're going to go into this hole here, and obviously get a nipple, put it through, and there you are. Right, if you're done with that now and your rim looks like this with 2 spokes on either side of the valve hole, you know that you've done it right. So yeah, you can go on to the next step. Now we're going to start doing the crossover. On this wheel we're going to be doing a 3 cross. Now for the next step that I just explained about, crossing over, we now have to put the spokes in this way on the hub. So we'll drop our first one in. This doesn't matter where we start on this side, because all of the spokes from now on are going to be following the same pattern. So now we need to count 3 spokes over, so 1, 2, 3, and it's going to go under your 3rd spoke, and then you're going to follow into this hole here. So you're going to miss the first hole and go into the second one, and then screw a nipple into there, and that's your first crossover. We're going to do the same on the other side of the hub now, and the same thing, spoke through there. Going to count 3 spokes over, so 1, 2, 3, go under your 3rd one, and you're going to miss that first hole, go into the second one, and it's basically just following that pattern the whole way around the rim until you fully laced the whole wheel. Now we're gonna start winding down all the spokes to the ends of the threads. Right, so yeah, as I said, we're just gonna wind this first spoke down to the end of the thread, like that, and then we're just gonna move on to the next one here. Do the same with that one, and we're just gonna basically follow that pattern the whole way around the rim until they're all the same, and then trim can begin. Right, now that you've wound down the nipples to the ends of the thread, your wheel should be pretty much straight. Obviously the nipples are going to stick out a little bit on your rim, but that doesn't matter because you haven't actually wound them fully down yet. So now the wheel's in the jig, I'm going to start to actually true it. Because I'm doing a rear wheel, these side spokes stick out slightly more on the rim just because the flange on the hub is slightly bigger. So I'm going to wind down these side spokes slightly more than this side. But if you're doing a front hub, then they should all just be wound down the same. You shouldn't change which side you're winding down more. I'm now going to be starting off at the valve hole. You can go to either side. I normally like doing the driver side first when I'm doing a rear hub. You can start at this spoke here, but I normally go to this one. So I'm just going to start off by doing 3 turns on this one, and then moving to missing out the next spoke and going to the one after. So I'm staying on the side with the driver, and I'm going to do 3 turns on that one as well, and I'll be doing the same on that one, and then so forth around the whole rim. Right, now that we've done that first side, we're now going to move on to the non-drive side where the flange is slightly smaller, and we're just going to basically do 1 small turn or 1 full turn on each nipple, missing out 1 spoke on every one, and then just going to follow that around the whole rim until we get back to the valve hole like we did on the other side. And yeah, with this, normally with a rear hub, you'd normally do a 3 to 1, so basically you do 3 turns on each nipple on the drive side and 1 turn on the non-drive side until the rim is in the center of the hub. Now that we've moved the wheel over into the center of the hub, as you can see, there's still a little bit of a wobble on mine, but that's nothing too major, as earlier we wound nipples down, so it's a lot better than it would have been. Now I'm just going to basically go around and evenly tighten up each spoke until they're too tight for the screwdriver, and then I'm going to move on to finally truing it properly, where the wheel will then be dead straight and obviously all the spokes will be properly tightened, and yeah, you'll be ready to ride it. Your wheel should now be done. That didn't take too long, probably only took me about 5 minutes to do, but it was only that quick because we evened everything out at the start. So another thing I'd like to say as well, because I get a lot of people calling up about it, there will be like or it'll feel like a little hop in the rim, but it's not, it's just where the weld is or where the rim's pinned. It's a heavy point on the rim basically, you can't get away from it, so there's always going to feel like that little bit of a hop, but it's nothing that you'd worry about when you're riding it because it'll still be as strong anyway. But yeah, as you can clearly see, my wheel's dead straight now. So yeah, if you like this tutorial, then yeah, give it a thumbs up, and if you've got any questions, then feel free to call into the shop and I'm sure we'll help you out. Cheers.